of your supporters are disappointed that your campaign has yet to catch fire the way they would want in terms of polling. One Republican pollster, one who is sympathetic to you, I was asking her about your campaign, and she said she thought the issue was you bumped up at the beginning because voters, Republican voters, saw you as a more electable conservative like Trump, Trump without the baggage. But then they say as you go further and further to the right on some of these divisive social issues that could alienate moderates, suburban moms, et cetera, Republican voters see you as less and less electable. What do you say to that analysis?
Well, I don't think it's true. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I took a state that had been a 1-point state, and we won it by 20 percentage points, 1.5 million votes. Our bread and butter were people like suburban moms. We're leading a big movement for parents' rights, to have the parents be involved in education, school choice, get the indoctrination out of schools. Of course, there's bread and butter issues that matter too. Yeah. Inflation, more economic opportunity. Florida's economy is ranked #1 of all 50 states.
Okay, I could let it go and let him cite all these other false facts, which make them garbage, not facts. Everything in this state is double the national average when it comes to inflation. Okay, we have almost 9% inflation on the West Coast and almost 7% inflation on the East Coast here in Florida, and it's all as a result of the cost of housing and maintaining a home in Florida, because this guy is literally in bed with hedge fund managers and private equity funds that want to swoop in like the vultures they are. And once Florida homeowners are unable to insure themselves or unable to survive, anything that you would make a claim to your homeowner's insurance carrier for, right? Your pipes exploded, or your washing machine, flooded the laundry room, or whatever it is. You won't have any homeowner's insurance, okay? And people will not be able to, even after they paid for their homes, even after they, settled that mortgage, even after they had their mortgage burning party, they won't be able to carry their homes. They won't be able to afford their homes. Property taxes will eat up, most of their Social Security checks and their retirement funds, and then the other portion of it will be eaten up by insurance costs and the high cost of living in Florida. Inflation in Florida, I guess Florida is woke, and insurance must be woke. Insurance must be woke. See, here we are wondering why he can't define for us what woke is, and now I realize it must be insurance, because insurance comes to Florida to die, doesn't it? So insurance must be woke. Oh, wow. Light went off over my head. Big, giant, bright light. I get it now. No, seriously, the crisis in this state is being caused by him. It's being caused by fraud. And every single one of these Republicans, from the Ronald Reagans who broke up the unions to help the corporate, all the way now till now, where they're saying child labor is the answer to the union problem this time, okay? You don't want to fire all the union workers and replace them all with scabs, okay? You could do that for some workers. And, we'll build into that, some workman's comp claims, because, people are going to get hurt. They can't work on the assembly line. They don't have any, skills. They might crash the trucks. They're not used to the trucks. We'll build that in. And maybe they'll lose 4 million packages at UP. But, and as far as the actors go and as far as the writers go, we'll just wait them out. Wait till they lose their houses. Wait till they lose their apartments. We'll just wait them out. Because, we're too big to fail, and, we can wait them out. And the other thing, that has to happen like every day, where you have to roll them, and speed it up on the assembly line, we'll just get kids. We'll just get kids with their tiny little, perfect little fingers, and they can, just like, do very intricate work because their fingers are so tiny. They can get in there. This is why we love them at the sweatshops, because the stitches that they make are just so perfect. I'm serious. They got a plan, and it ain't for you, and it's not for the American dream. It's for taking that away from you. It's for taking rights away from you, for taking privacy away from you. Now, why do you think Ron DeSantis is building a state militia, something this state hasn't had since World War II, okay? And the only reason why we had one in World War II is because the National Guard was deployed, right? They're at war. He's doing it because once the homeowners, once the maggots, once the guys with the big white Ford F-150s with the giant flags, figure out that this was baked into the cake all along, that they were being strung along so that, guys like him could take your house, which is just history repeating itself. The last time we had a Republican president, right? When W was president of the United States of America, the banks went belly up. Okay, after they asked you to please borrow up to the hinterlands, and then, because they appraised your house at like 9 times what it was really worth and told you to go ahead and borrow, and then they started failing because they couldn't cover those loans. But they went to the feds and they said, you have to bail us out, and we're going to take their houses too. And everybody lost their house. They're going to do it again. And this time they're going to do it through climate change and man-made fraud. The two shall meet, and people will not be able to buy insurance and insure themselves against climate change. They will not be able to insure themselves against massively, wet hurricanes. Oh, and by the way, you have to understand this too. So if you're able to locate an insurer in Florida, if you're lucky enough to find somebody who will insure you at this late date for the low bargain basement price of $7,000 a year or $13,000 a year, right, with a $25,000, $30,000 deductible, and they will only insure your house for, $100,000, $150,000, even though your house might be worth $200,000, or your house might be worth $250,000 or $450,000 or $950,000. Okay, so. But that's only for wind damage. They will not cover flood damage. You have to go to another insurance company and buy flood insurance. And then you know what happens. This has been the great game, in New Orleans. This is a great game in Houston. It's a great game in Florida. It's been a great game for a really long time. What happens is the water people say, oh no, the only reason why your house flooded is because the roof was blown off by the wind. Therefore, that's a wind claim. And then the wind people say, your roof wasn't blown off. This came through your window, and it was the result of water just being pushed through your window and breaking your window. That's a flood. So the water people blame the wind people, and the wind people blame the water people, and no one ever gets paid. I mean, there's legislation that could stop that. There would be, yeah. And there would be, legislation against, even having the ability to sign away your right to make an insurance claim. They could say nobody but the owner of the policy could make an insurance claim on this policy and protect the insurance companies and the homeowner. But he's very busy in his special sessions banning books and putting together Florida state militias so that when people get hip to the fact that they're being put out of their homes by private equity and they want a pound of flesh like Ron DeSantis's delicious flesh, they will be put down like the dogs he always thought they were.